Hello everyone, it's Iron Warrior Cosplay here in the workshop, and today I'm starting work on a commission piece for AltKitty. It is an Alice in Wonderland style knife. I've worked out the dimensions and stuff, but I did have to also go online to find the thickness and width of the blade, because obviously it's a lot thinner than stuff I've done in the past. Like a Space Marine knife is like super thick, so it's, you know, don't have to worry about it too much. But in terms of foam knives, the internal structure is going to have to be something I really think about. So I'm working out right now how to do that and what I'm going to do. I'm going to try wire. I've got copper wire here. It's like, I think it's 3.5 mil, something like that, 3 or 4 mil thick, and I'm going to twist it together and hammer it flat on the anvil and use that on the inside of the knife to keep the thickness down. I'm going to do 2 5mm pieces, so it's going to be 10 mil thickness in total, with the wire running in the middle, and I'm going to have a channel running, like I do with most of my knives. I'm going to have a channel running inside the knife in a different way I do with my Space Marine knives, or like the gun stock I did for the lasgun. It's going to be different. But what I've decided to do in this series is do a sort of video guide, not like a perfect guide of how exactly to do stuff, but to show you guys my process and how I do it. So hopefully by the end of this, I will have a bunch of videos that I can edit together and show you guys how I'm going to make this Alice in Wonderland knife. So come with me, and I really hope you guys enjoy. So let's make a start. All right, so stage 1, I'm going to try and sort of straighten this out a little bit and actually make this a twisted copper wire, so that I can then flatten it on my anvil and place it between the 2 5mm pieces of foam. So we're going to see how this goes. I have got a technique for this. I've done it in the past where I use a drill. And I will attempt to actually, you know, do this. Let's have a look. Let's squeeze that. Fits into the drill end. Now again, there's a lot of different ways people could do this. And I'm going to give this a go. There we go. There we go. That is really nicely done. Wow, that is really, really nice. I do love working with copper wire. That is super, super clean. Take it out of the vise here. And like I said, I'm not going to try and edit this or whatever. Like, if things go wrong, things go wrong. I'm going to try and show you guys, like, if things go wrong. So check this out. This is now perfectly twisted, and I'm not going to lie to you, incredibly straight. Like, that's, compared to what it was when I started, that's not too bad. So I've got to cut this now, cut the ends off, and then I'm going to get my anvil and I'm going to start flattening this out. So we are from the metalworking side now to the cosplay side. This is the metal wire. This is the copper wire that I drilled together and pounded flat with the hammer, as you guys saw in the last segment. What we're going to do now is fire up the cosplay laptop, the nameless laptop as I call it. It's got the laser program on it called Lightburn. That's what I use. I have 1,000 by 1,000 laser on the floor. It is unbranded. It's just a laser from China. I've replaced the diode on it and stuff like that. That's pretty much something I had to do on it last year. I laser cut the Gundam shield for the commission, and then I tried to cut stuff a couple of days after and the laser died. So it's got a new diode on it now, way more powerful. The laptop is booted up. So I'll take you over to the laptop now and show you guys what I'm going to do. So here we are over at the laptop. Now, I've got the file loaded up, but I wanted to explain some stuff. The copper wire and stuff that I'm going to be putting in it, I've realized that it's thin enough that I can sandwich it between the 5mm without any lumps. So I don't have to dig a channel all the way around it. I think I can just put it in where I need it, glue it on, and then sandwich the two blades together and then run it out the back and then do what I need to do with the handle. Now the handle's the hardest part for me personally. The knife I've kind of worked out. The handle is the hardest thing I've had to work out. For those of you wondering about it, this is my sign. This is the Iron Warrior cosplay sign. I'm over at my big black workshop table thing. I've had this for a long time, but this is foam dowel. It's super flexible. I've never really liked the super flexy stuff. I kind of like the harder foam if I can ever find it, which I've not been able to find it anywhere. But this is pretty much ideal for the handle. I mean, I'm not even kidding. That is a perfect handle size, especially considering the Alice in Wonderland knife is a perfectly round handle with like details and stuff on it, and it's got some raised details and it's got a piece at the end. All I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the length of the handle, cut this a little bit longer, because at the end of the knife it's rounded, which I'm going to have to try and do with this. I'm either going to find a half round like cat toy or a ball or something and cut that and then sand that down and then glue it onto the end to make it curved, or I'm gonna slice some angles with my bandsaw, and then I'm going to sand it over with my hand sander and my block sander and just try to get it as perfect as I can. Now, before I do that, I'm going to cut it to length, and as I said, I'm going to cut it a bit longer. I'm going to see if I can get the laser to do a single pass, and then I'll rotate it a bit, and then do a single pass, and then rotate it, and do a single pass, and rotate it, to see if I can get the laser to etch into this. When I'm saying that, I'm going to get it to etch on the flatter surface at the top. It will laser this piece. Then I'll turn it slightly and turn it slightly. I'm going to give it a go. I've never done it. It's a good time to learn. It's a good time to find out. Why not? So I'm going to cut a test piece of this. I got plenty of it. It's just this one piece. I've had this for the longest time. I've never known what to do with it. I was going to use it for a tube, for like a helmet or something, but it's too thick and it's a bit too flimsy for me. So I'm going to cut this to the size I need, and I'm going to attempt to use the laser to etch onto this. When the copper wire goes into this, this is going to be a very rigid handle. So that's basically the aim of this. I'm going to drill a hole down the middle of this with my drill press, or even a hand drill, just drill down it like that, and then put the copper wire down it and hot glue the ever-loving crap out of it into the handle so that it stays in. And I think that's going to look really, really good. I think the knife is going to turn out really, really nice. Famous last words. We'll see what happens. I'll show you guys what the knife looks like. I'll explain the file and stuff to you guys, so bear with me a moment. So here we are over at the laptop. Now, as you can see here, this is my laser file. This is what I've put together so I can sort of work out how things go. Now, these two pieces here that are sticking out of the knife, these won't be there. I'm gonna cut those off. The only reason those are there is because I was lining them up with the handles in the laser. It's just how I do things. I know there's a lot of people out there who do things way differently with a laser cutter. They go completely mad with some things. But what I wanted to show you was I've bought some of the old files in just to show you what I had planned before I found that old dowel I had. This is roughly the shape of the handle. It has got some other little details in it, but to me, it curves down a little bit. Now, I've looked at some files, some 3D print files. I've looked at some reference images and stuff from the game. And to me, it looks like it's just a cylinder with a rounded end to it. So this and these two are the old files I had. These actually aren't the files I'm going to be using. But I'm going to be using these two knife blades. Just to remind myself, I put 5mm there. These will be the two files I use to actually make the blade itself. I will be cutting these off once I've cut them out. I'm going to get rid of these, obviously. I'm going to get rid of these before I actually cut them out on the laser. But yeah, these are the blades. Now, this is what I'm going to be doing instead. This is my new design. What I did was I took the pattern from the handle, and as difficult as it was to recreate some of the pattern that didn't like come over to the system, I will actually, I will actually zoom in for you guys so you guys can see a bit better. There you go. I hope this is like not too janky, but anyway, some of these pieces I had to put in myself and things like that. I had to try and find different pieces that the actual Inkscape that I used didn't pull out. So I've added those in so that they're cleaner. These two dark blue pieces are going to be etched in as well to create the raised detail in between. It doesn't look like much here, but every gap has been measured. Like for example, this gives me enough room to play with. And this here gives me enough room to play with. So in total, it gives me enough room to play with this way and that way, but also gives me enough room to play with up and down. You see how I've made that overlap the top line? It goes over the top line. Well, that's what I want. This is going to be done out on the thinnest foam I have, which I think is about 1 millimeter or two, either 1 mil or 2 mil thick, and I'm going to wrap the dowel in this. I know I said in the previous video that I was going to actually laser it onto the dowel itself. Testing did not go well. Testing was a bit of a ball ache. I couldn't quite get it to do it correctly. I couldn't quite get it to do it the way I wanted to do it. And the foam on the dowel is so soft that the laser was just melting through it, even at just 1% of its power. So I've decided to opt for this option, which is another option I did have, which was it cuts a square sheet out for me with all the etched detail on it like that, and these two sort of indented pieces here, which will leave the raised detail in the white there. I'll be able to take this and basically cut it to the size I want on any of these lines, cut it to any size I want, and then actually put it onto the dowel. And then at the very end of the dowel, then I'm just going to do that rounded. There was going to be... The reference images have this pattern all the way up the dowel and on the pommel bit at the end, but sadly I have attempted to try and get the laser to laser onto the dowel, and I'm not confident enough in my hand burning skills with my little burning tool I've got. I'm not confident enough to recreate this level of really delicate pattern. So I'm going to speak to AltKitty and see if that's all right with her if I leave the pommel right at the end. It'll literally be from this piece onto the pommel. This will just be, it'll all be gold in the end, but it's just that piece there I won't be able to actually etch any of this pattern onto. But I'm hoping AltKitty understands, and I'm hoping that's not a big downer for her, because if I mean, don't get me wrong, if it is, if any customer did say, oh, could you actually laser it onto there, I will do my best, but I can't guarantee it'll look pretty. I go to the level of the ability that I have, and I feel this is where mine stops, to the point where I don't think I'll be able to hand burn this very ornate pattern onto the back of the pommel there. So what we're going to do, we're going to carry on. I'm going to get the laser going. The next shot you see will hopefully be the laser cutting these two out of 5mm pieces. I just realized you guys can't see. We'll be cutting these two pieces out of 5mm. I'm really hoping that once these two are cut out, I'll be able to do the copper wire while this etches and cuts out. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take to etch out. I know this is going to take a while, but I'm hoping the blades get done fairly quickly. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully the next shot you guys will see will be the laser working, and then hopefully me starting to put it together. All right, so as promised, the laser is going. Here we go. If you're wondering if I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it through the screen. I can't actually see the damaging laser. I can just see it through the camera like you guys are. I also have my green goggles, just in case. But let's pop on my green goggles, actually. There we go. So, right down here, you guys can see, it has started work on the laser pattern. The etching pattern even. This is for the knife. Now, if anyone's wondering what the spanners are for, the spanners are for my tractor. I work on my tractor. But the spanners also keep the foam from moving. Not that the foam has any tendency to move, but you never know, so it's always good to have some weights on it. So I just put my spanners that I have laying next to my tractor on top of it. I would love to get some 1, 2, 3 blocks and use those, but hey-ho, it's the way it goes. This is going to be etching now for some time. This is going to be etching for a chunk, so change this back. Okay, so that's going to be etching for a while. We're already at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. I have a feeling it's going to take a good chunk of time to actually get it, at least one knife done. one knife edge blade even. Like, it's got 2 to do, including the sort of the 2mm I'm doing that goes around this. Hopefully I'll be able to put at least the blade together today. If not today, then I can put it together tomorrow. It's not a problem. But tomorrow during the day, I'm away with some friends, so I'm not going to be able to do much in the way of work tomorrow. So if anything, it'll probably be Sunday or Monday. But then I'm going away soon for my little birthday getaway with my girlfriend, so that's going to be really, really fun. I don't think I'll get this knife done in a day like I wanted to. I did have plans to try and get it done in a day. Don't get me wrong. I've done madder things. But no. Getting it done in a day, not going to happen, mainly due to the speed the laser takes. I would make it go quicker, don't get me wrong. I have control of that. But I can't run it quicker than 2000, because if I run it quicker than 2000, the etching isn't going to look as good. And I want every prop that I make for someone, I want it to look as good as I can make it. And if I can make it look insanely good, then I'm going to take that extra bit of time to do it. It's not costing the customer anything massively extra if I take my time, and it's not costing them anything less. So, you know, it's in the end, you're getting a quality prop that I think is like the best work I can do right now with the skill set I have. And I'm really hoping that when I send this knife to AltKitty, she loves it. And I really, really hope that she's happy with it. Same goes for like the guy who came to get the Gundam shield, who again still is remaining anonymous until he's done with his cosplay. You know, same goes for Chapter Master Valrak with the shoulders and the knife I made him, and all the commissions that I've done over the years. I'm hoping that everyone still has them, and I'm hoping that they're still as happy with them as the day they got them. So, you know, that's the way it is. So for now, that's it for updates. But when you see me next, it'll be when I'm putting the knife together, or if something's gone terribly wrong. Let's hope not. But for now, I'm going to go watch some streams, wait for the laser to finish, and start prepping this copper wire. So, first hurdle. We have reached our first hurdle. The copper, I tested between 2 pieces of 5mm foam. I put a piece of duct tape and some pins to hold it together. I shook the copper with the foam on it, and it wobbles way too much. I feel if I put it in the handle, the center piece is going to wobble too much. I don't feel it's going to be rigid enough. What have I done? I went out to B&Q and bought this 4mm steel bar instead. So this 4mm steel bar is going to go in instead. Now, just like I've done with the combat knife for the Iron Warrior, this is how it's going to go in. Just like I did for the stock of the Krieg gun, this is going to go in. It's going to go as sort of basically from where the handle goes. So it'll go from where the handle goes. It'll go from where the handle goes into the knife, up and around, up to the tip, and then back straight on itself. And that's how this is going to go. This is going to go inside the knife, and it'll make it as rigid as possible. Now, I'm super, super excited about getting this bent because I love metalwork. The copper that I have, the copper that I pounded and folded in on itself and sort of made it so that it would fit into the knife, that is over there in storage. I'm going to use it for another project. No idea what project, we'll see. Something will come up in the future. Just like, for example, I had this in storage and I wasn't going to use for anything, and now suddenly I'm going to use it. So this is going to be the new internal structure. This is going to be the handle. There's going to be a piece that goes around that, and then there's the obvious blade itself. Once they go together, most of this is going to be done. It's going to be detail and paint work after. AltKitty wants blood on the blade, like in the actual picture that she sent me. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to get this done. But for now, I have to wait for the laser to finish. So, cup of tea, something to eat, and then we'll come back later. We are back. Now, as you can see, I am wearing my respirator. Well, was wearing my respirator. I'm just doing the final sanding sponge pieces on the end here. So, this is what it looked like. Oops, daisy. This is what it looked like. Let's see if I can get that to focus. This is what it looked like, just a flat end I cut with my bandsaw. This is what it looks like now. So I have rounded the end off. Just like in the reference image I had, it had a rounded end. Now, the issue I have, the issue I have had, but I've spoken to AltKitty and she's totally fine with it, which makes me very happy, is I I can't laser. I was going to laser this, and I tested with a test piece that I don't have on me right now, but I have a test piece of this with some laser etchings in it, and it doesn't work as well, and it doesn't look as clean or as nice. So what I'm doing is I'm wrapping this in 2mm. Again, I don't have any foam here, but I'm wrapping this in 2mm. So there'll be a sheet, a square sheet, the length I need, up to about here. There'll be etchings all the way up it, all the way on this sheet of foam, and I'll be able to contact cement it onto here and just run it around and wrap it around. When I get to the end, I need to then just measure where the foam is, put a line, cut that with a scalpel, and then glue them together, making sure that that seam line where they glue together is at the bottom. So making sure that it's here, so that when you look at the knife, you can't see that seam line. If there'll be a little bit of a seam line, but I'm going to use super glue and glue it together as sort of tightly as I can, so that there is no seam line. Also, paint and weathering and stuff can get rid of a lot of, sort of a lot of crimes and stuff like that. As Adam Savage said, just hide some crimes. What I like about this foam, that I'm not gonna lie to you, I wasn't keen on at the beginning, is the fact that it's super soft. It sands super easy. I used my Dremel a little bit on it at the beginning, but Dremel's too aggressive. This stuff is so soft that the Dremel's too aggressive, so I opted for the sanding sponge instead. So, but getting it to round off like this, I thought it'd be a lot more difficult, considering the foam I normally use, which is like sort of high density 10mm or high density 5mm. This stuff sands super easy. That looks really, really clean. That's going to be a really good handle. Now you're probably wondering, that's a bit long. You're right. The handle will end about here. I will be cutting a bit of this off. I just left a little bit in case the sanding of the end here didn't go well. So if this, if I was dremeling or something and something completely, and it took a huge chunk out of it and I couldn't fix it, I know that I can cut that off with a bandsaw and I have enough left over then. If it happened a second time, I'd have to cut a new one. But this is going to be the handle. This is going to have 5mm wrapped around it once the etching is done. As I said before, the laser does take its time. It's not exactly something that's super fast. You can crank up the power and crank up the speed and get it to go around it and cut out or whatever, but I feel like if it goes too quickly, you don't get that accuracy and you don't get that cleanliness, if you will. But luckily, with this laser, I'm running at 2000. I think I'm running at 2000 right now. It looks like a giant pen. It's running at 2000 at 1% power to etch in. 2000 is the speed, 1% is the actual power coming out of the laser. I've looked at it a few times. It looks so clean. But the only downside being is it's going to take a while. So for now, I thought I would jump over to get the handle ready. So that's pretty much ready. Giant cigar. I've got to get that ready. That's pretty much done. As you guys know, I've got the metal bar. This will be going into here eventually. Well, both of them will, this end and the other end when they're looped around. What I'll be doing is I'll be taking loads of pictures and showing you guys how I actually do it. So far I've just done video because there isn't much to take pictures of. So what I'm going to do now is just finish this off, make sure this is as accurate to the image as possible, and then wait for the laser. After 3 hours of laser etching, we are doing the final cutting out of the blades. Once these are cut out, I will mark them up and get the steel bar bent and put inside, and then that'll be me done for the day, as it is now almost 8 p.m. So that's me done for today. Tomorrow, probably tomorrow night, I will do some more, and then hopefully I'll be able to get some more video done and get you guys some more pictures sorted too. So hope you guys enjoyed so far. by the time I see you next, I will be actually assembling this knife. Hello everyone, it's Iron Warrior Cosplay here. Today is day 2 of the knife build. As you guys can see, the knife pieces are looking just stunning. I love how they've come out. Now what I've done is I've drawn the same sort of rough shape of a knife on the back. There's a gap here all the way up due to the fact that I will be giving this a knife edge, and then obviously that means the metal bar needs to be out of the way. So the knife edge will have no support, but it'll look really, really nice. But the rest of the knife will have a support. The length of bar that I had, as you guys can see, this is the steel bar. I have bent this in my vise. Now, as many of you know, if you have been watching so far, the copper bar was too flimsy. It shook way too much. It was just not strong enough to support the blade, and if I'd put the handle and stuff on, it would have just shaken all the time. I wouldn't have been happy with it. I would have had to have redone it, and that would have taken a lot of time. So before that, I did some testing, found out that it shook too much, so I went and got this steel bar instead. Super lightweight, doesn't really weigh much at all. It's going to give the knife some real feel to it though, which is what I want. So I'm really excited to see what AltKitty thinks. Now, as you can see, if I put this metal bar, there we go. If I put this metal bar on the line there, this is where it's going to sort of start and finish. That's where it's going to start and finish. The bar is going to go from there to there. Obviously, I will trim the excess on the ends, but a little bit will go into the handle as well. All I have to do now is bend this bottom piece into here and then up to here. That'll give this the structural support that it needs. Then I'll be able to put the other side of the knife on, and once the other side of the knife goes on, that'll be the knife done in terms of like the structural side of things. All I have to do then is do some sanding. So what I'll do now is I will get this bent, and the next shot you'll see will be the knife with a correctly bent piece of steel inside it. And there you have it. The blade is in position, and so is the metal rod that's inside it, like that. So all I got to do now is work on the foam, work on the metal. I got to bend this bar a little bit so that this one isn't so off center. But other than that, the knife is on its way. So hopefully now, when I worked on this and worked on the foam, we'll be able to get, you know, everything like put together, and we'll see what the knife looks like. Hello everyone, it's Iron Warrior Cosplay here in the workshop, and here is what the knife looks like currently. As you can see, it's all etched in, it's together, the metal bar is inside it. I pounded it flat with my anvil. I've left these two round, so they're going to go into the handle. Handle is there, it's already been pre-drilled, and I've run a bevel on I've run the knife edge on the knife. Oh, it looks so good. I love the knife edge here. It's so, it actually looks like you could cut stuff with it. It looks really, really nice. So both sides are identical. Both sides are identical like that. I had tried my absolute best to make sure that the actual blade edge was as straight as possible. Now, if I actually line this up with the camera, let me hide the sun for a second. If I just try and line this up with the camera, so you guys can see it's pretty damn straight. So I'm very happy with that. It's pretty straight down this way as well. Again, it's hard to show on camera, but it's pretty damn straight. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna dry fit the handle. This is actually my first time dry fitting the handle. I haven't actually dry fit the handle before, but oh my god, that looks, look at that. Look at that. Just, would you look at that? It's so cool. It is so cool. I'm really, really happy with that. Hello everyone, it has been a few days since I made that last video. I am now 29. It was my birthday on August 18th. I've been away on holiday with my girlfriend. So before I left, I tested the handle, as you guys know from the previous video, but I also, after making that video, I covered the handle. I did the pommel at the end, which it was difficult, but I figured out a way of doing it. I did the pommel at the end with the detail piece covered and some like detail bands that go around it. I've also glued it together, and I have now primed it. I've primed it today, as you guys can see with some black on my fingers. I have actually primed it today, but I built it the other day. Now I do have photos of it currently primed, I'll just put those up on screen there for you. It is currently drying as of this second. Once that has completely dried, I am going to start painting it. And once it's painted, you're pretty much talking complete. So that's what I'm currently working on. I hope it goes really well. I'm really liking how the knife looks. AltKitty seems to really like how the knife looks. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to start painting that once it's dry. And as soon as that's dry, I will do another video with some update shots for you of the completed knife. And I'll also do a roundup as well. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Hello everyone, we are back. I thought I would actually do a little show and tell for you on the knife. As you guys can see, it is now dry, and it's a knife now. A lot of the detail, as you can see, is still there, but it's hard to see obviously because it's black on black without shining a light on it. But this is going to get dry brushed in a second anyway, and along with the handle as well, which has all the detail on it as well. There's the band I did, and then there's the detail around the pommel that I did as well. So it's all got details and stuff on the actual handle. What I originally planned was just to do this centerpiece and leave this blank, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I changed that. And I'm very, very happy with how this has turned out, if I'm honest with you. For my first human scale, an actual just small, I say small, it's quite a chunky knife, don't get me wrong, but considering what I normally build, I think this is pretty decent in terms of scale. So it's got a metal bar inside it, so it's pretty solid, and I'm really, really loving it. I'm genuinely really happy with it. So I hope AltKitty is also happy with it as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my brushes and I'm going to start painting. So here we go. And that is the Alice in Wonderland knife complete. This is what the knife looks like. I did take some small creative liberties with making this so I could transfer it to foam. I'm very happy with how this has turned out. I really hope AltKitty likes it too. I tried to keep the paintwork as close to what I could with the reference image. I love how shiny the silver is. The gold's quite nice as well. I like the gold. It's like an antique gold that I dyed down with some browns and blacks to make it a bit more older looking. But I really hope you guys like this knife. AltKitty, I hope you like this knife too. The scale wise, as you can see, it's not too bad. I got the scale actual measurements from the 3D print file. So this should be accurate to size. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this has turned out. I really hope you guys liked this little video journey I took you on. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys want more of these videos, I'll try my best to do more. All depending on the size of the prop I'm doing. But yeah, I really, really am happy with this. I'm looking forward to packaging it up and sending it away to AltKitty. So from me and the Alice in Wonderland knife, bye for now.